So today I'm here in New York at the Oneida factory. I've got Sherry again with me. Once again, she is the hand sanding expert. There is another product that comes in Oneida's kit that is sold on Paint Life Supply Co. that you may, if you buy the kit, you may not know what the heck these are for. They're called interface pads. Look a little bit unusual. We're going to talk about the interface pad and their importance and why you should be using them, because they do serve a purpose, and there's some times that you should be using them. There's a open cell one and a closed cell one, Sherry. So can you just talk to our viewers that might be interested in getting that perfect finish and what they could use these things for?
Well, mostly these are used with, of course, all the time. Sorry, not mostly, but all the time with our sheet goods. And the reason we have these is because the foam is great. When you're talking in the finish room on primer or anything like that, it is the best, the speediest way to sand between coats. But a lot of times we'll get into areas where there may be, you need a little bit more aggressive. I know with conversion varnish, that had been a problem with us in the past. Just some rougher surfaces. And when we get into that, we can't always use the foam because it doesn't flatten it out. And that's the big thing, is that if you've got a rough finish, it doesn't matter if you sand it, if it's still rough, when you put your next coat, you're going to still see that roughness. So the interface pads gives us ability to replicate the foam, but with a conventional abrasive. So this is the softer version. This is the soft 10 millimeter. And it'll actually, if you need to get down, you can see this pillow top. We don't want a flat spot, but we can actually wrap into that pillow top, right? We have to be careful though, because again, while that doesn't level, this does. So you got to keep yourself off of the edge work, right? This probably isn't the best profile because it's a little tight for this, but it kind of gives us an idea of what. The other profile that we can use is the, which is missing now. Hand me that.
This would be just a cut. Yeah.
This is a better profile to show it on. If I want to sand this with the sander, I can take this and I can actually use it to go all the way up into this, right? If I need it to be a little stiffer, so this profile is a little bit shorter, I want it to be a little stiffer, I'll take a sheet good and I've got a little bit more push into it where I can actually get down into this deep profile, right? The other thing that I tell people all the time is, and this is not so much with not just with the interface pads, but with the sponge, don't be afraid to use that offset.
I do that a lot.
Use that offset because that offset will allow you to get in here really good and close. Because getting down deep in here is hard. Yeah. Without doing it by hand.
So my question would be with the interface pads. Do you need the interface pad if you have half-inch sponges, or if you do, what's the difference between using this and this combination?
Well, there's a lot of times that this will not flatten out a rough finish, right?
It won't. Okay.
Right. The other thing is this: if this was raw wood, right?
Right.
If you have knife marks all the way down your molding.
Yeah, I've seen that lots of times.
Cannot get it out even with going to a coarse half-inch sponge, because that grain recedes. I need that grain to stay more prominent, but I need a little give. So I'll go to the half-inch interface pad, and then that way I can get in and I can take out those knife marks or the molding marks, the molder marks that you see.
So if I want to get a flat finish on a contoured surface, I'm not going to get a flat finish on a contoured surface with this because the grain's going to recede, but on that, I could get a flat finish on this side. So that makes a whole lot of sense to me now. So there we have it, some good tips and tricks why the interface pad is actually, in Oneida's kit. So another thing that comes with Oneida's sanding kit is two different abrasives, conventional abrasives. We have Film Tech and we have EcoStorm. If you want to know when you should use one or the other, or even what the difference is between the two, because I know I've got that question on Paint Life Supply Co. before. In our next video, we're going to talk about Film Tech and EcoStorm, so stay tuned for that video.